If you just joined us, this is Face Off, and we're looking at the change mantra, Change Begins With Me, that was launched on September the 8th by the President, Muhammadu Buhari. And the discussion tonight is, who should actually change, or who should it begin with, the government or the people? Two gentlemen in the studio, Mr. J. Bukwe to my right, and Mr. Yeniji, who is a barrister, to my left. But before we start, I'd like for us to take a listen to this report.
A time was when Q culture was a pattern of life in the country. A time was when Nigerians would think twice before touching government money or even accepting bribe. There was a time you dare not urinate indiscriminately anywhere in the country or go late for an assignment. But all that seems to have been eroded. But President Buhari here, clad in white kaftan, surrounded by his aides, enters for the launch of the National Orientation Program tagged Change Begins With Me. He joins other well-meaning Nigerians drawn from the government and the private sector who are already seated, waiting to hear what's new about this effort to change the old way Nigerians do things. The president seems to have a reply to those Nigerians who are going through pains and ask, where is the change the APC government promised during the campaigns?
Our citizens must realize that the change they want to see begins with them, and that personal and social reforms are not a theoretic exercise. If you have not seen the change in you, you cannot see it in others, or even the larger society. In other words, before you ask, where is the change they promise us, you must first ask, how far have I changed my ways?
The president is not done yet. He has this to say.
Indeed, I say, to the glory of Almighty Allah, change begins with me.
Okay, so that's the buzzword that has been that's gotten Nigerians divided on both sides of the coin. Should the change begin with the government or the people? Gentlemen, is that both passing? Having listened to the president, anybody can start.
Well, everybody, the president, the people, the leaders and the led. There must be a synergy. There must be this cohabitation. No one is an island. No one builds a nation, himself, one person. So whatever little thing you do in your house can affect the system. And this man is coming from a background that in 1983, he was the one that started war against indiscipline. And you know what he did to our psyche. When you see Q anywhere, he started from there in 1983. When he left, he was just there for about a year and some few months, and he left. All these things went on, that he came back again. And we have experimented, change is a process. It's not an event. It's not a 100 meters dash. It is a marathon thing. It's not something you have to achieve overnight. But we have looked at the system and find out that strange things are happening. Because it's supposed to be a collective, responsibility. But while you are, as if you are sitting the pilot of a plane, as you are doing that, somebody is removing the landing tires. Then you need to bring everybody together. And I ask questions, why is somebody on the cockpit and somebody is dismantling the landing tires, preventing the plane from taking off or landing? Now we need some kind of synergy, systemic and systematic approach to deal with what we believe in.
Okay, let me get Bryce to come in.
Well,
is this a package? Is this packaging?
I think that Mr. Igbokwe, I don't know. I'm trying to choose my words, okay? But for me, first of all, coming at this time, I believe that the president has again been ill-advised by those he has surrounded himself with, all right? If we are talking about change, people changed government for the first time, and the president acknowledged that. I've come with all the speeches the president has given since he was sworn into office as president of this country. If Mr. Igbokwe is saying, without meaning to attack what he has said, that there are saboteurs amongst them, then they should please tell us. Is it PDP that does not want this change to fly? Let us know. Is it COA? Is it the remaining 26 or whatever parties that we have? Sir, on Democracy Day this year, the president said, as part of his speech, he said, despite the many years of hardship and disappointment, the people of this nation are proved inherently good, industrious, tolerant, patient, and generous. The president has acknowledged that Nigerians are cooperating with him. This is in his own speech. It wasn't written by Nigerians. It was said by the president himself. And again, October 1st, 2015, it will make it 1 year in a few months. The president said, my countrymen and women, every new government inherits problems. Ours was no different. But what Nigerians want are solutions, quick solutions, not a recitation of problems inherited. Accordingly, after consultations with the vice president, senior party leaders, whom Mr. Igbokwe is one of, and other senior stakeholders, I quickly got down to work on the immediate, medium-term, and long-term problems, which we must solve if we are to maintain the confidence which Nigerians so generously, put that in quotes, underline it and bold, bestowed on us in the March elections and since then. So why do we keep having excuses? The president says something and we see something else on the road. For the first time, I've never seen it in all of my over 3 decades of existence. We increased fuel price by over 100%. Nigerians are still paying. We did not revolt against that. The same Nigerian group went out last year. It wasn't, the problems were not this many. If the president knows that he has saboteurs and there are people around him who will not allow the plane to land or take off, then let us face them out. He appointed them. I still have the speech where he said that the ministers have come in late, but that we should be patient. Now they have come in, the airport is thrown into darkness. Indeed, Arike is no longer flying or landing. Aero Contractors is not flying or landing. Who is the saboteur here?
Can you say this is your textbook?
Well, it's not the problem. It's what he wrote for the president to read. The president read it. I went online as a patriotic citizen to see the speeches of the president and then to come here. We don't pull wool over the eyes of Nigerians. We don't pull wool over the eyes of Nigerians. The suffering is real.
Just a second. Mr. Igbokwe, don't you think...
He's talking as a young man.
Well, fantastic. Maybe it's about time. The president said he was here to deliver. Let him leave. Let young people go in there.
Some of us will squat.
Mr. Igbokwe should leave. As APC spokesperson, allow young persons to go there. And then maybe they can even give information. We have a president who gives only statutory speeches. It does not come out to address the state of the nation. In United States, where he started change from, the president addresses the people. When we have issues, headsmen are killing hundreds of thousands. We are suffering from every known and unknown causes, and yet the president cannot address us. Mr. Igbokwe, as spokesman of the APC, cannot address us. And they are telling us the president said change starts with him now. And we want to see that. He should go ahead.
Let's address us.
The young man must keep quiet now.
Okay, he will allow you to talk.
What I want to say is that what I sit down, what I squat and see, if man climbs a 25-story building, he won't see it.
It's an insult on Nigerians.
That's why he's talking like this. That's why he's talking like this.
It's an insult on the voters.
Let me tell you, 1 year, 1 year, 4 months.
Is the government, let me ask you this straight.
Yes.
Is the present government not relinching on some of the, if not most of the promises he's made about change?
Let me tell you, for the fact that the president, you have to wait for 4 years before you begin to judge.
Fantastic. People are dying.
Many people, we have to sort out those who are saying this.
Okay.
You have to sort out those. You say, if somebody that is suggesting somewhere, said if you are chasing a thief and he runs into a crowd of dancers and start dancing, it may be difficult for you to sort out where the thief is. That is what we're saying.
Are you overwhelmed? Are you overwhelmed? Are you guys overwhelmed?
No. What you don't understand is that government is a process. Government is a process. He's a young man. He's expecting something overnight.
The change that you promised, has it moved from the responsibility of the leadership and now being brought back to the people? Is that what has happened on September 8th?
That is the misconception.
So, educate us.
No, listen. And I want you to listen carefully.
We will.
Change that the president promised is still there.
Is there? Is it coming?
It's coming and it's going to come. Silent revolution is going on in our system everywhere. But we felt that we need to do something about ourselves. The way,
Is this not a
the way we do,
statement?
no, it's not. It's not the way we do things. Let me tell you, a few years back,
Airlines are
two
going
years
down.
back, there are certain things we have to deal with our unproductive mindset.
Okay.
We have to deal with our pathological, desire to accept anything that we put in this.